This was a day for neckties and bottles of cologne as dads all over St. Louis opened their Father's Day gifts. But there are too many kids in the area growing up without dads, which makes tonight's Making a Difference report a very unlikely Father's Day story.
What you want to do all this, the shirt and shoes?
At the Al Chappelle Community Center in St. Louis,
We just call him the neighbor.
kids get to escape both the heat and reality for a while.
I'm actually the only kid in my family who's never been to the penitentiary.
30-year-old Javon Hansman runs the art program here. It's a small class, but to these kids, he's a big deal.
They work for me.
They really think I'm somebody, you know. I've never felt like that before.
Javon actually grew up in this neighborhood. And when you're from here, you grow up fast. The Clinton Peabody Housing Project was synonymous with inner city blight and crime.
Gangs, drugs, this was the kind of the home base for it.
Javon describes his childhood as living in a virtual war zone.
The 4th of July every night, it's always shooting.
But when Javon was 13, he was able to run away without ever leaving home.
It's funny, I've always had a real interest in kind of using education to open people's minds.
Bob Hansman teaches drawing and design in the architecture school at Washington University.
I love that one.
About 20 years ago, he volunteered to start a summer art class for at-risk kids, though some of his students, including Javon, were more interested in punching than painting.
I felt like I was a referee half the time, but then they started bringing their friends and family.
With everything that's going on outside the front door, drawing was my piece.
Some of the kids ended up learning. Javon ended up moving in with Bob. With no father and an absent mother, it was a way to get away from the violence.
You could tell from the look on his face, he was still pretty upset and lost. He said, I used to just sit behind the door of my room, and just pray you wouldn't throw me out.
When kids grow up in the projects, some learn to express themselves with a gun. Thanks to Bob, Javon started expressing himself with a brush.
This is actually what I see when I'm really concentrating and drawing. This is actually what I see.
Javon now sells his art and does commissions.
Well, once I started decorating these people.
And he took over the community center program because it's always nice when a son...
Yeah, there you go. Good deal. Good deal.
...follows in his father's footsteps.
He just said, have you ever thought of adopting me? Just like that.
And that's exactly what he did.
I sometimes wonder what my life would be like without him. I really can't picture it anymore. He's so much a part of what I feel my life has been about and what it's been for.
Bob Hansman not only took his hand, he had his back. And now on Bob's back,
So here we go.
Javon's sentiments for Father's Day.
You do this side, and I got this side.
He didn't give him life, but he gave him a chance.
I couldn't be prouder. I just couldn't be prouder.
As a son once said, my dad gave me the greatest gift there is. He believed in me. A reminder, if you know of a unique positive story or of an individual making a difference, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com.